Hello? If you open a door, it's only polite to shut it.
I'd like to take that approach. I don't want to lead us into something awful.
So after this session, you are going to step back and you are going to stay stepped back.
I have been working on getting a location for like the past 3 years, and I finally get approval for 2 nights at Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Nope.
Being able to go back to Waverly Hills is really exciting. I've been to Waverly with Ty in 2009. The first time I went, I was terrified, and I'm expecting to be terrified again.
Carol, could this place be scarier than when we went 13 years ago?
I don't know.
What happened?
It was too big. It was like, it felt like everybody was watching you from every window. And then when we were leaving, Ty, you said that it was like being in the middle of a football field and having it packed, shutting the lights off, but you still feel everybody watching you. That's exactly how it felt. But now, after having like years of different experiences, I can't even imagine what it would be like to go back in. Like, is it going to be scary at all? Is it going to be just as terrifying?
So Carol and I went there a decade ago, and that was actually a lot of what we used as evidence for the original Haunt Me team's training session. And now here it is a decade later that Carol and I have the opportunity to go back. Anna has the opportunity to go for the first time, and I just couldn't be more excited about this.
I am going to be so fulfilled the moment each one of our feet step into the main hospital building together. That's what I want to achieve.
Honestly, same.
I think for me, it's going to be really just breaking down Waverly Hills. I think there is so much built up around it, on top of it, creating what it is, that I want to get it back to its core.
Going to Waverly Hills is a huge opportunity. I honestly think that this place has been highly influenced by being on television, by the amount of people who have investigated it, that they're actually telling the story rather than letting the building tell us its story.
10 years of investigating, we're ready for anything.
Except Waverly Hills.
Back against the wall, everybody.
Back against the wall, away from staircases.
Over the past couple years, we've learned to love a good road trip. So after half a day of traveling, we have arrived at the site of Waverly Hills Sanatorium, and we are ready to get started.
Needs no introduction, we are here at Waverly Hills. I didn't know that 10 years ago when we were here, 13 years ago, I didn't know we'd make it back, and now we're back. Anna's here for the first time, and we're lucky enough to be able to spend 2 nights here. So I think the first night that we should be here should be mostly focused on getting our bearings of this huge building and exploration. You know, see what's there, make sure that they understand that we're not sideshow performers that are trying to make them dance, right? You know?
We're immediately going to break off. Anna's already heard a lot of our stories, but we really didn't want to influence her in real time with what was going on with me and Carol's memories of being here before. So we are sending Anna off on her own to explore all of Waverly to her heart's content, while Carol and I go investigate some of our old favorites here. The point of this is to make sure that we don't continue to contaminate Anna's idea of Waverly Hills, because her job here tonight is really to take the lore and the stories and look at them without a biased point of view. Carol and I are here to go meet old friends.
So, you ready to do this?
Yep.
We have full access for a very long time. 2 days. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Bye, Anna. Come on. What the hell?
Evil!
You got it.
Okay, so Anna, this is the lobby.
Okay.
I think this is a good spot to like be our central meetup hub, I think, because it's in the center of everything.
Okay.
The hospital wings go from to the right and the left. very, very far. And then in there are staircases up to the different levels. Carol and I are gonna start on the 4th floor.
Ooh, okay. Well, how about I just meet you guys there?
You may not even find us again.
Good, excellent. Well, nice knowing you. Farewell.
Farewell,
I think I'm
Anna.
going this way.
Okay, bye.
Oh, this is unnerving. Okay, this is fine. We're fine. We're fine.
Okay, so this right here, this. Oh my God, oh my God, I can't believe I'm back here. I've been wanting to come here. Can we just come in here? Was it this floor or the floor below us that we heard the woman scream?
This is the lowest floor.
Okay, all right, all right, I was just discombobulated. So we were sitting in one of these black rooms. I don't know where it was, but I do know on the wall there was graffiti of a clown or something.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there trying to do an EVP, and then a quick woman scream.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Right, yeah, because there was someone out in the hallway too, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was, but it was a man from our group that was sitting right outside the door, because I remember him looking around in the room to us to see if it was you. That way? Mm-hmm.
I heard it gets kind of quiet and lonely. Just waiting. They spent a lot of time waiting, sitting around, playing instruments, writing, sitting outside on the grass.
My first task was to sort of listen to the building. Essentially, I was on my own, having my own experiences, which I think was really important, having spent the last 8 years hearing all of Ty and Carol's and other investigators' stories. So it was important for me to have my own time with the building and listen to what it had to say.
This is the, I know they know the name of a patient.
I went deep into research this year. I pulled in a friend of mine. Her name is Courtney, and she has really helped me delve into what makes Waverly Hills Waverly Hills. And that means not focusing on the paranormal, but on the people.
Hi, Courtney. How are you?
Hi, Anna. I'm doing well. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
You have an entire book on researching the paranormal, and I just kind of wanted to explore that.
I think some people sometimes think that it's all about like how to conduct your own like paranormal investigation of a place, but it's much less about that and more about how do you find research about various aspects of the paranormal, you know, from like extrasensory perception, near-death experience, hauntings, like all of these things, like, because there's so much out there.
Right.
In like a university setting, some people tend to get blinders on when it comes to anything other than journals that are in these like really expensive, like really high-tiered scholarly journals. And they overlook all this other like really wonderful, credible stuff like personal experiences, interviews with people, newspaper articles, like all of these things. And I think that stuff in particular, it can be like the bread and butter for paranormal investigators like you guys when you are going to these locations.
Right, right. And I think, and specifically with Waverly, there's so many investigators going out there and experiencing things, and coming into this completely new, I've never been to Waverly, I'm finding it hard for me to sort of sort out almost like what I want to believe and what is true, and sort of like, what do we trust as reality?
At the end of the day, the only thing I think that you can do as a researcher of any topic, especially the topic that, like the paranormal, that is so divided, I think the best that you can do is just have a variety of sources to create as clear of a picture as you're ever going to get, and it's never going to be 100% clear, and you got to be okay with that.
Waverly Hills is old. It is almost a century old. Around the 1900s, it had started to be built. The Louisville people worked together to sell bonds, to raise money, to create this building that would house and help them handle the tuberculosis pandemic, essentially. As we get closer to the 50s and 60s, treatments for TB were discovered, and so having a large building like this wasn't as necessary, so it closed down. It was reopened a few years later as a nursing home. It was then closed down in the 80s. From then, it was passed from person to person depending on who bought it and what their goals were. We really wanted to take a look at who lived there, what their lives were like, what they experienced, what the day-to-day was.
So I've been to Waverly once, and it has become this enigma in and of itself. I think at this point, you can't separate any sort of lingering energies from the past with the energies that are constantly poured into it today, because it has become just this internationally known paranormal location. And I have a tendency to believe that we as living humans are really good at haunting the world around us.
I think it's true. I mean, I think our emotions, I think how we interact with people, how we affect people equally affects our world. And so likewise, if we think that this place is haunted, it's going to be haunted with our thoughts. I mean, with, you know, what we're projecting out there. It's been a while. Does anyone here would like to sit and play with me?
This, I want to spend some time in here tonight.
Oh,
Right?
this is where my recorder was.
Yes, that's right. That's why I brought you
This
here.
is where my recorder was. And there was a metal chair right under the light. And this is the surgical light, the old actual surgical light, which I can't even handle. I think it's so cool. But yeah, I left my recorder in here, and you could hear the metal and like the tray sliding. I just, whoa, yeah.
Once we get our bearings and like do the whole floor.
That flipped a little bit.
That flicked a little bit?
But it was just, I just looked at it and it flipped just to the next level.
I mean, they told us there's no power.
I can turn this light off if you're comfortable, or I could keep it on. Maybe it doesn't matter. But if, I'm sure you know, plenty of people have come in here. We're not trying to make you do things. We do want to communicate with you though. So I'm not going to say, oh, come touch the green light. But I will say that if you do come near this, if you haven't seen them before, these will light up. And we could use it to communicate if we can't hear you. So are you a patient or a resident? Oh, two little blips. I wonder if you are. Am I correct? Are we standing in the surgical room?
Again, you know, oh yeah, thank you. That denotes intelligence, right?
Yep. Cool.
That's great.
Well, we're here to just kind of explore. It's
kind of hard since the communication, there's a little barrier, but you can always like make a noise if there's a special place that you would like us to go, and we could try to follow that. This is the first floor?
Yes.
So I just heard humming. What? What do you expect me to do? Nope. Also nope. Oh, good, that's comforting, thank you. This must be their Halloween. So it kind of feels like we're not supposed to be here. Oh, want to go through a small dark hallway? Oh, sorry. Oh, claustrophobia. Claustrophobia, my God. Oh, God. Okay, okay, cool, we're cool.
Smells like fire.
What was that?
What was that?
Was that outside the building? I didn't hear it well enough.
I think it was.
Okay.
Or it was to the left, at least.
Okay, that's outside.
You sure?
I don't know.
If that's you, come along with us. We know that type of stuff happens on this floor.
Is there anyone up here? We can't get sick. If you want to come out and visit, I just wanted to let you guys know that. What's that? Is that you? Is that you? Going like that?
No.
Okay.
It's a lot cleaner than last time.
Oh, I'm getting a blip.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Again, we can't get sick, so thank you for coming out. Yeah.
Hey!
Hi, nice to see you.
Yeah, please feel free. Everyone come over. I was just saying that we can't get sick. I know that sounds really ignorant, and we can't really explain it right now, but we can't get tuberculosis, so please feel free to visit.
Can you check that? I know they said there's no. Yeah, okay.
Before the investigation, I decided to talk to Grant and Reanna Wilson. They've been there before, and it seemed like a really good idea to listen to what they had to say.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you?
So we're going to Waverly again. So you've both been, right? Both of you?
Oh, yeah.
Many times, yes. One of the things we found is that you get a lot of activity, but none of it was really very cohesive. Something we tried to do every time we went there is tried to really connect with something there. It was really, really hard. It wasn't until I was able to go there with Reanna that, of course, you know, she cracked that and we were able to start making contact.
You think about it, like a lot of those doctors and nurses and things, when they went there to stay because you couldn't leave. For us to come in as investigators and walk around, like we're new faces. So we started kind of approaching them that way and just saying, hey, we're not sick. We can't get sick. We're here to talk to you. You know, that kind of thing. And it changed things.
More than ever, any place you've ever investigated, try to understand the circumstances of people who were in there, right? They were sick, separated from their families, but they were all in it together. And the staff was willing to make huge sacrifices to help these people. Our experience, once we made the switch, is that they're very kind of caring and very playful. Idle hands, right? People are going to be practical jokers. When you do the research, you find that that place was happening. They had dances, they had parties.
Honestly, it's like making me rethink everything, because when I went there, I thought I was being as respectful as possible, but my thoughts, because of all the legend, just to think back of how like I was like terrified of the nurses, like they were monsters, like that's just unbelievably wrong. I'm really glad to get a second chance.
Right, so it's about respect for the people you're going to investigate. Whatever you've heard, doesn't matter. Just go in there and introduce yourself to them and see what happens. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much. Really helpful. Okay. God, I am working with one ear.
Oh, I can hear it.
Hello?
It was just there for just a second.
Yeah, no, it's here.
No, I can hear it.
Yeah, no, it's happening.
It's high pitched. Sorry, that was just really loud. Okay. I didn't mean to scare you. Can you come over and touch my hand?
What the fuck to do with myself right now?
Yeah, come walk along with us. That was great. But come touch my hand, because I'll actually be able to hear you. I hear something. Lead me where you want me to go.
Ty,
the louder it gets, I'll come that way. I don't hear anything again.
So my friend let me borrow a new device. It's a wideband receiver. And what that does is it allows you to take the electromagnetic landscape around you and translate it into an audio signal. Basically, you're taking energy and turning it into a noise so that you can kind of act like a radar and understand a little bit about what's going on around you. This device, in my mind, would help turn that spirit into a unique audible pattern.
It's revving up now, though. Is that you? Again, just come touch my hand. It'll make a real loud noise, and I'll probably jump, and it's really funny.
Just shake his hand to meet him.
How are ya?
Is there anyone here? I guess we keep moving.
From that baby dove.
Okay, you stay here. I'm gonna do a rune reading.
So runes, if you guys have been watching Haunt Me over the years, you'll know that I enjoy using Elder Futhark runes. They're a Viking divination system and they're very blunt, and so that's kind of why I like using them on the investigations. It's not proof of a haunting, but it's a good starting point if we're able to get a hit on, you know, a spirit wants something or there's unfinished business.
So if there's someone here right now, anyone that can hear me, just think as hard as you can about who you are and your experience here and how weird it is that you might hear my voice. Just think about just your experience, and let's learn a little bit more about the people here. Berkana in reverse, which means an inability to start something new. Like Berkana is birth, and this would be the birth of a project, birth of a person or whatever, something that you can grow and mature. So it's kind of just being, you know, not being able to start anything new.
That kind of makes sense in some aspects.
Let's learn a little bit more though. Rado in reverse, loss of a partner, being separated, being unable to progress. So yeah. And then waiting for a message ensues.
Wow.
Kind of seems like stuck, loss of a partnership, looking for a message. So maybe there's someone out there right now that's missing someone. That
To me, this may be so simple, but I got this feeling that they're not able to start something new. I mean, they're in a sanatorium, possibly with tuberculosis. I mean, they have tuberculosis if they're here, and they can't continue their job. They can't go home to their family.
Right. It's pretty general, but this waiting for a message.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. It might almost be nice to like pen something.
Heidi ho!
Oh, geez.
Get the
Thank
fuck
you, Anna.
out of here.
How's your night been?
Quiet?
Quiet?
Yeah. Why?
Ours
Not quiet
isn't.
for you?
No.
What happened?
Weird ass noise.
Oh, your hair is up.
Yes.
There was too much going on. Actually, you know me so well.
I got you.
She knows I get stressed to put my hair up.
Not wanting to obscure Anna's untainted view of Waverly, you and I headed off to some of our favorite spots that we wanted to go check out beforehand, right? When we went the first time, I just didn't get enough time on the 4th floor because I was scared, you know, so that's exactly where I wanted to go back this time.
My experience for me was very different from both of yours. For me, really the only spookiness was like the grandioseness of the building, you know, and just sort of like feeling that history and walking those halls and knowing, you know, how many people kind of walked those halls as well.
It's just weird how it affects different people.
I love the collaboration that we have with the paranormal community.
Oh, yeah.
I love our friendship with Grant and Reanna, and I also love like being able to connect with people like Courtney, who I met online because she's a friend of the show, and she's brilliant and a researcher.
It's like colorizing a black and white photo. It makes them more human, and that's what Grant and Reanna did for me. Is I knew I wasn't going to go back there the same. But talking to them really like confirmed it for me. They were just like, listen, this is what we experience.
You would be left with nothing but the fear.
Exactly.
Without the knowledge.
Yes.
So having that sort of that information beforehand changes the investigation completely.
It did. It really did.
It sounds like it helped you guys like reframe quite a bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it takes a lot of that initial like every moment, you know, so you can breathe first and then go.
Yeah.
So when we met up with you, like Carol and I had been getting radar activity, right? Like stuff was happening on the 4th floor. Wanted to hone in on that. Even though it was like early on in the night and the whole first night was supposed to be about getting our bearings and coming up with a plan for the second night, the amount of contact that we made so quickly on the 4th floor, it led me to being more apt to dive into an Estes method at the start, where usually we try to like do that midway to 3/4 of the way through, get a new lead, follow that lead or whatever.
Right.
I think it was really important to start with it here, knowing that we had 2 days to suss through that insane amount of information.
Huge place, so we need to dive in.
Right. Throwing the shirt away after.
Am I bothering the cameras with this light if I'm like shining?
I heard David.
David, can you walk up to Ty for me?
I just heard a little girl cry out something. I don't know what it was.
Okay. David, we can help get a message to your loved ones.
This is Ty. Can you ask them to like speak louder or slow down?
Yep.
It's really confusing. I don't know why.
David, can you step forward, please, and slowly introduce yourself to Ty?
I have.
Yes, thank you, David. It's good to speak with you. David, can you tell us your surname?
Is this patients?
I have workers and then patients and then just...
That's badass.
What I really wanted to do was utilize the records that I have of both the people who died there, but also the people who worked there, to see if we could connect with someone and have a name. This was really helpful during the Estes method session, because when we would get a name, we could look it up and see if it was relevant to the building. David, can you tell us?
Hi, something just touched my forehead right here.
So, we prefer a warning.
4 of them.
Before you touch us.
No, stay right there. Something touched my chin. Guys, is there like a spider on me?
I don't know. I'm not gonna check for a fucking spider.
I can check. Hold the list. Here. What the? Okay. Keep asking questions.
Something just touched my neck, guys. Can you just search for a spider?
Yep, you're okay.
I'm in the hall alone. I'm in the hall alone.
You're okay.
All these people. Just try to be quiet.
If you're back here, if you have something to say, you can come forward.
So, I have a list of names. Workers, patients. Your name could be on here.
Hard breath. Change.
Speak
or James.
Up. James? We've got plenty of James.
Only one.
James, what's your last name?
Obviously.
We were told that there's someone who has a message that they want to share with their partner.
Just a cup.
If you have a message you need to tell your partner, the one you love, will you step forward? Do not touch Ty, please. You can
My
touch.
finger is burning.
Okay. Please don't touch Ty. You can touch me. You can tell Ty your story.
Guys.
Okay.
Get out.
Come on.
Okay. I am getting touched all over, like this bug's all over me.
But the thing is we keep saying don't touch you, and they're touching you more.
I mean, as long as it's I'm fine with it. I can keep, if you guys are getting answers and not just nonsense.
Let's, I don't want to lead us into hell, but also Grant told me there's tricksters, they like to play tricks.
Right, I can go back in, I just don't want to be bugs,
No,
Okay,
fine.
why don't you switch positions at least, so you're, I don't know, your back is against a wall.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to go back in. You can.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to explain something. Tricksters, not like malicious.
Right.
More like pranksters. If they have sarcasm, it would make sense. Don't touch Ty, now you're being touched all over.
Okay.
You're like, oh, mess with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to take that approach, but I just don't want us to I don't want to lead us into something awful.
Right.
But I kind of want to take the prankster approach. But I don't, I mean, your finger was burning, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was like something was just scratching at it, you know?
Can I see it?
It's just a moth right there, you know, so like that's...
Can I see your hand?
Yeah.
Whoop.
Get
off of me.
See, that was what it felt like on the back of my neck, you know, so that's why I was like, fucking bugs. Oh.
All right, if you're comfortable, let's put you back in, see if we can follow your trail, and then book it if we get attacked by anything.
When I was sitting there with my back to the cabinet, there was just something touching, crawling, tickling, moving down the back of my head, the back of my neck. However, I kind of, in the back of my mind, I knew that it probably wasn't a bug, even though I was in a bug-heavy area, because at the beginning of the Estes session, I felt this little like burn on the point of my finger, and then throughout the session, it got worse and worse to the point that it felt like a scraping on it.
Grant had mentioned that he experienced pranksters. When Ty was being touched, I thought maybe that's what was going on, and when he wanted to come out of the Estes method, it made sense to push forward in case that's what this was, like a pranking situation.
To the spirits of Waverly Hills.
May 12th.
Oh, can you remember that?
That was so clear, though.
I got that.
May.
Yep, okay.
We're looking it up, okay.
Day.
The day, May 12th. Can you tell me the year?
So I have Annie Thomas died on May 12th. She was 60 years old. Pulmonary tuberculosis. Annie, you can step up to Ty and tell him what's in your heart, on your mind.
Shh.
Every fucking time.
I was about to say that. I don't know why they should.
If you have something to say, other than to quiet me, please approach Ty. He would be happy to hear your story and share it.
Regrets. That door.
My heart just... Did you hear a footstep?
I heard something.
Keep reading.
Who is speaking with Ty? We need a line.
We are.
Yeah. No.
We are. Did he just say we are?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Can you tell us who we?
About.
Can you tell us about we? Who are you?
He's invited.
Where to?
It's interesting that the temperature is going up when there's a breeze that has started.
To find.
So we're going to stay. This is going to be weird. We're going to stay in this dimension.
This is tied. Whatever you guys are asking, there's multiple different people talking and answering. It's not linear. It feels like.
Okay. Okay. I don't.
Fool. Compromise. Someone touched the back of my neck.
That's so fucked up. That is so fucked up. I just fucking in my head was like, we should ask them to touch him again. I just fucking thought it. I just thought it. I mean, a millisecond right before you said that.
We're gonna ask again.
Touch him again, please.
Who do you think?
Oh my god! Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't like it when he does that.
That's bad for you.
Anna, I can't even tell you. I was just thinking we should ask them to touch him again, and I didn't even.
Out.
Jesus, fuck. Okay.
You need to tell us who we're talking to before we get out.
Isn't it obvious?
No.
Who is it?
List.
Tell us your name, or we're just not going to continue to talk because you seem like you can't figure out.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Woo! God, I got cold chills.
I don't think it was this far. This is why I hate the Estes method. Like, we get everything but what we want. That's not true.
Deeper.
We heard some pretty significant banging. I did get up and go to check it out. We couldn't find a source for it, which was a little unnerving.
To the spirits of Waverly Hills, if you're here with us on this floor,
David.
please step forward.
Search it.
Please step forward. Join us.
Shh. It's David.
Dave. Oh, he keeps saying David. I'm just David. David, if that was you.
Sure it is.
Great. Thank you, David. We had David earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
David, can you share your last name with us?
I'll step back.
Hey.
Just keep going.
Hey. Look, here's the deal.
The temperature did weird shit when he moved. I don't know if it's because he moved or.
Okay. David.
Gather your tools.
David. Are you poking? Are you touching? Are you scratching Ty?
Oh, fuck. All right, so if we touch him to get him out of there, he's gonna flip out. So
it's family.
What the
That's what it was, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just on edge. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm trying to just focus. Okay. Anything useful?
It seemed like the girls had pretty much set the standard of like, calm down on the touching, only do it if it's really important, because there was less of that happening there. I only know what happened based on what they told me about afterwards, and it really did seem like this was a good strategy to start with. We usually use it to end because it signaled that Waverly was definitely heating up for the rest of the night.
Anytime we do an Estes method, we really do get some interesting information, so that experience was exciting.
So after the first Estes method, it felt like we made progress, but not like what we were aiming for, or it felt like we got somewhere, we just don't know where. We had to take a break because of the confusion, but it was also a good time. We decided to chat with an old friend that could help us out. All I'm supposed to do is turn it on.
You can speak with him.
Are we speaking? Can we speak to the doctor?
Throaty growl.